Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron Channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about what it truly takes, what it really takes, what the minimums are to build muscle mass. Before I get into that topic, if you have any questions or comments, check out the link below. Come on over, submit your questions. The best questions I turn into videos just like this. All right, receive a ton of muscle building questions. Guys are trying to major in the minors. They're worried about protein, guys and girls. They're worried about protein intake. They're worried about workout frequency. They're worried about sets. They're worried about volume. They're worried about periodization. Let's cut it back to the basics and talk about what it truly takes to build muscle mass. What is the bare minimum? There's a lot of misinformation on this subject because we have become so paranoid because of the amount of information out there that if we only work out twice a week or only work out 3 times a week or only do 12 to 15 sets a day or only get a minimal amount of protein, that we won't build muscle. Here, in my opinion, and these are not rules, they're guidelines, so let's establish that, the bare minimums you need to build muscle mass. Now, there was a strength coach by the name of John Christie. John Christie has passed away. He passed away in his early 50s, I believe. And he wrote a book called Real Muscle, Real Strength, or Real Strength, Real Muscle. I forgot. I got it lying around here somewhere. And John trained people on only 2 days a week of training, sometimes 3. The programs focused on a brutal battery of compound movements, not a lot of sets, but a lot of heavy, hard work. So at minimum, do you need to work out 3 times a week? Do you need to work out 4 times a week? No, for you busy people, 2 times a week will actually work just fine for muscle building. With that said, you will need to do some type of frequency training where you are hitting the entire body from head to toe during that period of time. Now, the question when I present these guidelines is it optimal? Well, we need to understand the nature of what we consider optimal, because in the muscle building world, when we look at what is or isn't optimal, we tend to think, and it tends to be pushed, that if something isn't optimal, that it might only give you 50% of the gains or 25% of the gains. The reality is, when we are talking about something that is optimal, the difference is often very trivial. Maybe a couple percentage points, maybe 5 percentage points, maybe even 10 percentage points off. But here is the good news. If something is less than optimal by even 10, even 20%, if you take that over the course of 5 years of training, you're going to be about where anybody else is at who is training optimally. That's the reality. Why is it the reality? Because physiologically, as a natural, you can only gain so much muscle mass. So if you gain, say, 16 pounds in your first year, training optimally, and 8 pounds your second year, and 4 pounds your third year, whatever. If you're behind the curve and say you only gain 12 pounds the first year, the second year you have more to gain. So really, after you get down the road 4 to 5 years, you're going to start to play catch up, because that guy who has trained optimally for 4 to 5 years doesn't have many gains left. So you're still going to be gaining at a decent pace, even though you're not training optimally. So here's the reality. Those of us who are in this fitness lifestyle are going to be doing it for a long period of time. The emphasis on optimal, and I know I'm going down a rabbit trail here, but the emphasis on optimal is way overblown, especially when you look at things over the course of 5 years. Because no matter what you do, if the foundations, the basics are in place, over the course of 5 years, it's going to be about the same. So don't sweat it. Plus, not all of us want to be a mass monster anyway. So if you have 1 to 2 pounds fewer muscle mass after 5 years, who gives a flying, steaming pile of dung? So that's workout frequency. At bare minimum, twice a week. Full body work. If you want to do 3 times a week, you can do it either full body or alternate between A and B splits. You can do upper A, lower A, upper B, lower B, and you can alternate doing 3 workouts. You have 4 different workout types: upper A, upper B, lower B, and you can rotate those over the course of 3 workouts a week. So that is the bare minimum you need. What is the bare minimum volume or number of sets per day? Well, look, if you're doing a lot of pussy work, and I say pussy work meaning weak, not an attack on the female vagina, because I've had people criticize me for using that word. But pussy in this case does not imply that the female species is weak. Pussy work means that you're going light. All you're doing is isolation exercises. If you're just going light and not using progressive overload and using isolation exercises and training like a pussy, then volume, you might need more volume. But if you are using if you are using a good quality amount of heavy compound movements, backing them up with taxing secondary movements, then really 12 to 15 sets per workout at minimum is probably going to serve you well. But here's the caveat, and this is something I stress in my book, Massive Iron, which you can find below. This is something I stress for folks during their first 2 to 3 years of lifting. 12 to 15 sets minimum per day is going to work if you are making these sets count. If you are making every set count. Let me explain what I mean. By making every set count, you push a set for as many reps as possible, as often as possible, not every time, but as many times as you can, 80-90% of the time. You push a set for as many reps as possible. You stop that set only under 2 conditions. Number 1, when you feel like you might fail on the next rep, because there's no point in training to failure. When the muscle breaks down, you're trying to push heavy weight, you're just going to set yourself up for injury. Or if your form starts to break down, that's a no-brainer. If your form starts to break down, you don't need to do another rep. You're going to get injured. This will create auto-regulated progression. You're progressing at a rate that is perfect for your body. You're also pushing each set for as many reps as possible. The deeper into a set you get, as far as reps, the more muscle fibers you are recruiting. So therefore, if you are pushing a set for as many reps as possible, you are maximizing muscle fiber recruitment. You are maximizing that set. So if you maximize as many sets as possible, each workout, you're going to maximize the sets, you're going to maximize your workouts, you're going to maximize your progress over the course of a year. So we have established the minimum amount of volume, the minimal amount of training sessions per week, and how to choose the right exercises. A good selection of heavy compound movements backed with taxing, a little bit, maybe lighter compound movements or heavy taxing machine movements or whatever. And we've established how to attack a set. So that's how you train. That's the minimum needed for training. And if you do this over the course of 3, 4, 5 years, you're going to maximize the muscle building process. Anybody who tells you otherwise is trying to get you to major in the minors, and they are, and you can quote me here, full of steaming piles of shit. Again, they are full of steaming piles of shit. Because if you are doing compound movements, push to the max, 2 to 3 times a week, and backing that up with quality assistance exercises, you do not need much more than that. That doesn't mean it's necessarily optimal, but it might only be 1 to 2 to 5% or maybe even 10% less than optimal, and that isn't a lot over the course of 5 years. Now, diet. What do you need? Do you need to count macros? Do you need to count calories? Do you need to do, if it fits your macros, do you need to bulk? All that kind of good stuff. I will let you know a secret. That secret is I've been lifting for 32 years and I'm an old ass motherfucker. Yes, I just said fuck in a video. Don't get angry and unsubscribe. Sometimes as adults we say that, and we say it because it's kind of funny and it's used for emphasis. So, the only 2 things I've done over the course of 32 years is make sure I get in enough calories and make sure I get in enough protein. Now, for you men, what is the minimum amount of protein you need? Well, there's a lot of debates. People will say you don't need more than 150 grams because of this study and that study. You know what? Sometimes if you need 3,500 to 4,000 calories a day, you might want to eat a little bit more protein, not necessarily for the muscle building process, but because meat tastes fucking good. You might want to quote me there, meat tastes fucking good. And sometimes we want to eat a balanced diet rather than eat 2,500 fucking calories of carbs each day. And I'm saying fuck right now as a shout out to Alan Robertson because it sounds funny. So with that said, you just a minimum of 150 grams of protein for men. Women, maybe 100, 90 to 100, 110 minimum. So you also want to have enough calories, so you're making sure that your body is recovering, so you're making sure you're not under eating. So for men, during their first year of lifting, if you're training optimally, if you're training efficiently, you can gain about 16 pounds of muscle mass. The second year, each year thereafter, that number drops by half. So 16 the first year, 8 the second year, 4 the third year, 2 the fourth year, and 1 pound the fifth year. Now for women, it's probably about a third of that. 5, 2.5, 1 1/4, etc. We do not, early on, it's okay to eat 300 to 500 more calories than your maintenance level as a man. Understand that this will help with the bulking process. You might put on a little bit of fat, 5 to 7 pounds during your first year. But each year, and understand, the more muscle mass you have, the faster your metabolism is going to get, and the more calories you're going to need. Right now, I need at least 3,000 calories a day or I lose weight. So understand that as well. Now, each year you get into the muscle building process, your gains are going to slow, so you're not going to need to bulk as aggressively. So if you're doing 300 to 500 calories above maintenance your first year, you might need to only do 150 to 300 above maintenance each year thereafter. That's for men. For women, I don't really recommend bulking because ain't nobody got time to look like a female bodybuilder. Women, you just really need to get in a maintenance amount of calories because women don't really want to gain weight. Train hard, and you're going to gain 5 to 7 to 10 pounds of muscle mass in the coming years, and that's really all most women want. If you want to be as big as possible, then you can bulk like a male. Just understand that you're going to add a little bit of fat, and don't panic if you add 10 to 15 pounds of fat. This goes for men or women because that really only takes 6 weeks to 8 weeks tops to lose. So it's not an intense diet if you're bulking reasonably. So all you really need to do with diet is focus on a minimum amount of calories, hitting a calorie minimum, and hitting a protein minimum. I don't target calories and protein. I set minimums. So I don't aim for 3,300 or 3,400 calories a day. I want to get in I set a goal. I need to get about 3,000. I need to get for me, I like to get in 180 grams of protein because I am a muscular beast. Just ask myself because I'll tell you I'm a muscular beast. So that's the minimum. What do you need minimum supplement-wise? Nothing. Okay, absolutely nothing. You do want to make sure your diet is filled with micronutrients-dense foods, and micronutrients are like vitamins, okay? I'm dumbing it down. They're like vitamins. You don't just eat protein, carbs, and fats. You need foods with micronutrients so you can build and repair. All these micronutrients, vitamin B and vitamin C and vitamin D, they play vital roles in the body, and if you're just eating crap foods with no vitamins, you are, and you can quote me here, fucked. I like to use protein powder because protein powder helps me hit my protein goals each day. Fish oil, there's a ton of research on fish oil. It's not a requirement, but it can be something you can take with each meal. And a vitamin mineral supplement is hotly debated, but you can do your own research at examine.com. There's a ton of research on the benefits of intaking individual vitamins. So even though it's hotly debated whether you need a vitamin and mineral supplement, it's cheap, there's little downside, and you know what? Just take one for the heck of it. It's just a backup plan. No need to get all crazy whether it works or it doesn't. It costs you like 2 pennies a day, and you're drinking like 2 energy drinks a day and spending $5 on those. So just take a 10-cent vitamin and mineral. That's really all you need. If you have sleep issues or stress issues or you're fatigued and you're overweight, then a pre-workout can have some benefit because it'll help you with sustained energy. It'll help you with performance. A pre-workout is much more than just stimulants. It has things like creatine and all these other performance enhancers, which aren't going to turn you into a steroid-using body, but they will help you with performance. And I don't know about you, but I want every advantage I can get because life is, and you can quote me here, fucking hard. So guys, hope this video has been of some help. If you have any questions or comments, check out the link below. If you've made it this far in this video and have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do. I'd appreciate the support. So guys, as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day.